Welcome to my channel.
Wife 33F said she cheated on me 30M because I'm ugly and short. Story 1-2. Some time after 2 decades together, things went very much awry. Where we were a team, there was only one person. Things have been deteriorating over time, and much as I tried the best I could, antagonism replaced affection and physical displays of affection became few and far between. I'm not without blame, of course. The disintegration of our marriage was a team effort. However, in my defense, I tried to stay in the relationship, although it was a painful thing. Criticism replaced understanding, and where once was space, a chasm appeared. We tried couples therapy, but she did not like it, so we stopped almost immediately as she thought the therapist was taking my side. I went to therapy myself and tried to apply what I learned to improve our relationship, but it was to no avail. Again, I wasn't perfect by any means, but I tried. There was never any physical violence on my part, but she did hit me at least once. No big deal physically, but emotionally it was shocking. In a previous relationship, I had been the one to stray with terrible results, and I definitely did not want to repeat that mistake. I did not stray. Anyway, things continued to deteriorate. She did not want to take walks with me and spent more and more time in the computer. I had started to have more and more feelings of anguish, worry, and unhappiness as time went on, and as we became more distant, I could sense a big loss. One night the phone rang and she was visibly and extremely upset. She'd received news that someone we knew had been killed in an accident. She was incredibly upset. I was also quite upset as I felt her anguish. We were, after all, a couple for a fairly long time. Soon after, I found a little note written to her, which was basically a little love letter. I asked her about it and she denied it. I took her at her word. Not too many months later, she told me we were through. I was shocked, of course, but not completely surprised. She confessed she had been in love with the friend who died, and she'd since met another man. It was a terrible event for me, even though I was unhappy as was she. The tremendous shock of a divorce was a job to my life. We had an amicable, as much as could be expected, separation, and I left the house. It's been some time since then. I'm more settled in my single life again. I definitely miss the companionship and partnership. I had been used to having someone in bed with me. I miss the physical touch and emotional connection. I was taken by surprise by her infidelity. I did not expect it from her. I guess that was the biggest shock. Story 2-2. The side chick told me. The ex stuck to his story that he didn't have sex, that it was just a few months of s-ing, but in hindsight I'm sure a lot more had happened. I had no idea this was all going on under my nose until this girl showed up at my work claiming to have an ongoing relationship with my ex, with an arsenal of evidence: phone records, texts, photos from social media sites, and one email that he had sent her. Turns out he refused to see her the day before when she tried to confront him at his work after he tried to end things, so she tracked me down. She was obviously a nutcase, and I know my ex regretted getting involved with her and ruining our 7-year relationship. We tried to give us another chance, but in the end things weren't going to be the same again, so we broke it off a year later. Note to Burt Reynolds: don't worry, I agree with you and felt like the biggest fool of all. But I disagree with your comment that she was the only one who tried to do the right thing. Since when is doing the right thing confronting someone at their place of employment and dropping this bomb on them for a relationship that didn't exist? That the only ammo you have are random saved texts, photos pulled from my blog and social media pages that I took, and one work-related email that didn't indicate any kind of romantic sexual interest. Who goes to a job interview and thinks they just started a relationship with their interviewer? Yes, my ex and I were getting bored in our relationship, and it's my fault too that he appreciated the attention he was craving elsewhere. I believe him that they only went out once, since we're both homebodies, and I knew exactly which night she claimed to have slept with him. It was the first and only time he came home late because of a work emergency. He claims that nothing happened, not even a kiss, and he had to pry her off of him that night even though she was bawling and begging to be his mistress. That she'll be satisfied as long as he gives up one night a month to her. But I think a lot more had happened that night. Why else would she go through the trouble of finding out who I am, and where I work so that she can show up at my office after just one failed date? Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, your story looks worse on you than anyone else since she was the side chick and you were in the relationship with him, but he betrayed you and made you look like the biggest fool out of the lot. So criticizing her in any way is an odd way of looking at what happened, since at least she was the only one that tried to do the right thing and your ex picked her as the side chick. Redditor 2, something else did happen that night, or he would have come clean about the crazy woman he didn't know attempting to harass him. There's nothing to hide there, and it would be the kind of situation that you need your spouse on your side for. My husband and I have had our share of attention from members of the opposite sex over the years, and realize that we can't control other people's actions. And sometimes people sincerely want to see a happy couple break up so that they are not miserable alone. We immediately tell each other if anything is said that may be misconstrued, then jobble the situation together. Hiding these things makes them look bad even if they are innocent. Keeping a secret of this caliber with another member of the opposite sex and not telling your spouse is essentially protecting the intruding party. That is a violation of trust and disrespectful to a marriage. I've had many guys come on to me since I have been married, and I honestly get rather pissed off instead of flattered. If you think that I'm going to cheat on my husband because of a few stupid lines, you have disrespected me as a person because you think I'd betray my husband that way. You are the intruder, and you might feel me punching before my husband gets wind, and he will get wind, directly from my mouth immediately. Thank you for watching. Comment what do you think about this situation. Don't forget to like and subscribe.